and
Sorry.
awesome. And then so that pushed me into really wanting to understand why. There's always a reason why. I just feel like we accept things and we just go, oh, okay, that happened, right? It wasn't sufficient enough for me. So I had to dig deep. And over years, probably been 10 years now, maybe a little bit more, that I've just dove into natural healthcare. And I found out that a lot of the things that we've been told aren't necessarily the truth, right? So I don't know about you guys, but in the past, I've gone to doctors, I've gone to gastrointestinal places, I've gone to places that put the thing on your arm with testing, and they tell you, oh, you're allergic to nuts, or oh, you're allergic to this, you're allergic to that, right? Yes? Anybody? Yes, right? Did it work? Yeah, maybe for like a day it did, but the quality of care was like 5 minutes. You were in and out, and you were like, and they just said, take this, or go to sleep, or it's all in your head, or you're crazy, or whatever, right? That to me isn't care, right? It's not helpful. It didn't serve me in any way. If anything, I just felt worse, or I felt like there was a deeper reason for it, but I wasn't getting that clear answer, right? So I actually went to a doctor back in I think that was 2015, same time around my dad passing away. And he pushed on my arm and he said, you have this problem. And that was it, just this problem. And I said, okay. He said, I have candida. And I said, all right, yeah, I've heard of that before. Give me a quick little supplement. And it was healed within, a day maybe. But then it kept coming back, right? Little by little, it was like, oh, it's not totally gone. What's the deal? What's the deal, right? And I found out that he never really got to the true cause. He just dealt with another symptom, which it's not enough, right? You're dealing with a symptom. You're not getting to the problem, to the real gut reason of what's going on, right? So here, I just figured out that I'm here to care, right? And that involves communicating. We're collaborating. We're a team, right? I can't help you if you don't relay information back to me, right? It's trust, right? That's what, we all want to trust, right? We want that connection. We want that people to people. That's what we're here for. We're here to connect, right? So care, right? Collaborate. We want to awaken your body's potential to heal. We have been told this lie that once you get something, that's it. That's what you got, and there's no healing from it, right? Anybody? Anybody on Zoom? Yes? That's not fair. That's not right. Your body can heal. I've seen it. I am it. She is it. She is it. She is it. She isn't, right? There's so many success stories that I've seen over, 2 years, 3 years of being in practice that I'm like, okay. But the thing that people don't realize is that this process takes time. And we're being sold a 30, 60, 90-day fix that it should just happen like this. Why isn't it happening like this? You have all this pressure on you, right? That's not awakening your body. That's just putting more and more pressure, right? So then we have the R in care, which is respect. Respect where you're at. I think a lot of times we try to rush and we try to get to the end goal. Why? Let's say you lose 5 pounds in a week, and that's not sufficient enough for you, right? So you're not respecting that part. You're still looking for like 20, 30, 50 pounds, but guess what? This didn't happen in a day. It didn't happen in a year. It didn't happen in 10 years. It happened over your whole life. So before you start to think to yourself, oh, why isn't this happening? I want this now. I need this now. It's because it's been your entire life since birth. That's what I need people to understand. It's been since birth. Not since you were 2, not since you were 5. Birth. Okay. The last part is education. You all are here for a reason. I truly believe that, right? You want deeper answers, you want more education, and we're going to keep giving this to you because it's so crucial, because of all the lies and all the things that we've been told are true. People reversing illnesses, right, back and forth, but we've been told that that's not a possibility. I believe that's not true, right? And then last, of course, we don't have it on there, but it's trust. You have to trust someone, right? And that could be, you could have 6 people on your team that you know, you have a chiropractor over here, you have me over here, you have so-and-so over here. That's trust, but you need to trust somebody, right? You're all are friends, right? You trust each other, right? You build that trust over time, but trust takes time. It's not this, right? It's a lengthy process, right? So when I tell you this, it's because we've been lied to by the medical industrial complex for probably our entire lives at this point. If you're not open to that, I just suggest that you do your own research if you don't trust me, because it's the reality of our situation at hand. And I can always tell you that if you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I can always tell you I'll find out, because I don't know everything, but my goal is to be that person for you, to help you understand why this is happening, what's the real cause, what's the problem here at hand, right? So many times I've been told, well, I was diagnosed with, I had this issue, my doctor gave me, I had this. And what we're doing in that moment is we're giving up our power of healing, right? We're completely surrendering our power to heal our body naturally, and it's not helping, right? It's actually worsening you, because you have this thing in your head, which is called a brain, and that brain tells you, no, we've been told that we can't heal, so we're not going to, right? We are in a resistance mode. So when you slowly wake up to stuff, you go, wow, I don't have that constipation anymore. I don't have that breathing problem anymore. And then it slowly starts to, and then you start to go, wait, maybe I'm not this diagnosis. Maybe that's not who I am, right? It's like that label feeling, right? We're labeled all the time in society. But are you that label? These are the questions that I want you guys to start asking yourselves, because you're not, right? I was 300 pounds overweight, right? I used to be 300 pounds. And when I tell you, I was that label for so many years because I was told that. I was told I was never going to cure IBS. I was told I was never going to get rid of my back pain. I stand here today, 183 pounds, no back pain, no anxiety, the strongest I've ever been. I don't mean that to boast. I'm just saying it's possible for you, right? It's possible. And I know a lot of people in here know it's possible because they feel it, right? I'm going to say something really harsh to you right now that you might not like, which is that you're being poisoned on a very deep level, and you probably don't even know it. These charts up here, I'll explain in a minute, but you are literally being poisoned every day in your air, your food, your water, your soil, right? Your rain, every facet. So if you're like, why am I stuck? Why do I feel like I can't make that breakthrough? It's because you're being poisoned. And again, that might be like, all right, bro, like chill, right? I get it. But when I tell you that through a simple test, that's a non-invasive test, which we'll discuss later, you will go, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That I've been stuck for so long, but I never knew, right? I get it. It's a little like, whoo, I don't know, because what happens when you start to heal and get better? What can you not do? What do you no longer do? Answer, anybody? What do you no longer do when you start to get better? Feel gross, yes, but it starts with a C. Anybody? Complain. You no longer complain because life's good, right? You just feel good. You're going to the bathroom every day. Yep, I talked about the poop. Talk about it all the time, right? You're going to the bathroom. It's good for you. You should. You should be proud that you're going to the bathroom. Period. I hope you're laughing on there because it's true. Okay. So you're being poisoned, and the thing I'm going to tell you is that this takes a sincere amount of dedication. It's taken me, gosh, I've been on this journey for almost 15 years to find. Now I will tell you this, but that sounds like a lot. I didn't have the answer for 15 years, so I struggled. I don't want you to struggle. I did that for you, right? And it sucked. But I believe that God brought me through that to help anyone that comes through this door. It's hard. We don't need to suffer the way we're suffering right now, right? You don't need to. So the thing, again, that you need to really think about is we are up against a multi-trillion-dollar drug cartel. Multi-trillion-dollar drug cartel. Did that sink in? That's a lot of money. And we're like, oh, I can't do that. You can't afford not to do that. When you start getting, and the reason why when people say to me, it's too expensive, this is what I say. Being sick is way more expensive than being healthy. And the reason why I say that is because when you start to get healthy, you start to want to go to work. You start to be motivated. You start to sleep better, so you're more present for your children and your family, right? I care so much about children, it's not even funny. I don't have any yet, right? But I care so much about them because they're our future. So when us as parents and, you know, grandparents and nieces and nephews and, you know, when we start to get that feeling of being better and feeling good, it's like, oh, it's totally worth it. Like when I mean, and this is not, again, not to say anything or demean, it's, I've spent thousands of dollars to get to this point in my life. That sounds like, well, of course. And I'm like, no, it's not like I wanted to do it, but I felt like I had to. And now I wouldn't trade it for anything else in the world, right? So in the beginning, it might feel a little hard because it's all the stuff, you're getting all that stuff out, right? The poison literally is being excreted. So when you think about like, oh, people tell me I have the flu, or you have a cough, or you have this, or you have that, those are symptoms of your body trying to heal itself. But we've been told to be scared of it and to run in a corner and go, you know, stuff 5 bags of cookies down our throat. No, right? The reason you got there is because of all the sugar and all the poison that's been infiltrated into your body. That's the real reason that we got sick, right? The true reason, and I want you to think about this word, toxic, right? Toxic. You are full of toxins, right? That's why you're sick. Has nothing to do with somebody else. Guess what happens? Somebody else is around you, your immune system is low because you just drank alcohol, or you just put sugar in your body, or you're stressed, or what have you. Your immune system's now down here, and now you're susceptible to anybody else that brings that into you, right? People ask me all the time, Matt, when was the last time you got sick? I don't even remember. Maybe 2 years ago? Maybe? Because my immune system's always up, right? I'm on guard all the time because we can't afford to not be. Think about if your kids actually felt good and you as moms felt good, what would happen? They would never feel that way, right? And you would say, oh, if you got a fever, good, wrap them up in a blanket, make them sweat it out more, right? Raise that temperature up even higher. It's gonna feel scary in the moment at first because you're like, sweat more, that's not good. Raise that, their body is trying to tighten that level of temperature to get it out. All the time, whenever I feel that way, I get into a hot shower and I just sit there, or a steam shower, and I just sit there because it's trying to come out. Toxins are trying to actively come out of your body, but we're so afraid, right? Stop being afraid. You have the power. You just need to own it, right? So I have this little joke, and we have it in the holistic world, where we go, check your pulse. So if you put your finger up to your neck and you check your pulse, you feel a beating right there. So we all have toxins if you have a beating pulse, right? Or the funnier part is we all have parasites, which you'll learn about later. We all have parasites if you have a pulse, right? So this means that, I do too, right? We all have toxins. We all have things in our bodies that are keeping us from being healthy and being well, all right? Any questions so far? I know this is a lot. Yes, please. You should just hit the top. It's so lovely. So in terms of detoxing, right? Detoxing affects, or toxins, I should say, affect every pathway in your body, right? So if you're not eliminating, if you're not going to the restroom, if you're eating stuff that's not healthy for you, and we'll talk about that in a second later, but if you're eating all these foods and you're not actively getting things out and getting supplementation and pulling these things out of your body, your pathways are being blocked, right? I've heard from so many people, oh, I've been told that I have a bad intestine, or I've been told that I have a blocked artery, or blocked this, or blocked that. What that is a toxin. That's all that is. That's it. It's a toxin. It's plain and simple, right? So again, I'm going to reiterate, you're being poisoned every single day, silently. They're not going to tell you. No one's going to tell you, right? At all. They don't need to, because we are willingly entering into that, because we don't know. We just have never been taught that, right? So if you're doing things correctly and you're supporting, because the thing is that when you detox, you don't just want to detox. When you just detox stuff, you start to suffer because things are being pulled out of your body and there's nothing to support it. So you need things in your diet and in your supplementation that are going to also lift the organs in your body. If you're just getting rid of stuff, you're going to feel horrible, and you will never come back here, and you will never ask anybody else for help ever again, because you're just gonna feel like junk, right? And that's often the part that's missed by so many other practitioners that I have seen in my entire life, is that they don't give you things to support, they just give you drain it all. But what happens when you drain? You get the fevers, you get the headaches, you get the throat, you just keep going, the headaches, all those things. Those are all just symptoms of detoxing, right? But we've been taught to fear it. We've been taught, ugh, scary, I don't like that, I'm gonna stop, right? Because if I stop, I don't have to feel the pain. Guess what? You gotta feel a little pain to get to the other side. This isn't it, think about it. Decades, your whole life, you've been full of stuff. You can't expect to not have a little pain getting through it. Raise your hand if you had pain going through a detox. Okay? It's rough. I'm not gonna lie, it's rough at times. I have too. However, the other side of that coin, brilliant. It's amazing. Because you just go, I could go back to work. I could do, I mean, how old are you? If you don't mind, 68 and back to work.
Yeah.
Come on, that's ridiculous, right? Like, there's no, you can't make that up, right? So, we're told, this is the funniest part to me, we're told that detoxing is a green juice, right? Right? Drink a green juice, you'll be good. Or don't drink alcohol for a month, that's your detox. Dry January,
Or like those little shots.
yeah, those little shots that you get a turmeric and lemon shot.
Now they have those patches you put on the bottom.
Yes,
That's crazy.
I mean, guys, it's the way they try to brainwash and the way they try to tell you, oh, this is a detox. It's a complete joke. And look, and I'm not kidding you, most of those green juices have like 25 grams of sugar in them, right? If the naked juices, that's called a detox drink. That's how they're marketed, right? It's all sugar. The whole thing is sugar. So just so you can kind of get some understanding of what we're up against, that's what we're up against, okay? So you're being hit with invisible toxins, right? Molds, pesticides, glyphosate, chemicals, metals, radiation, immune challenges, which are parasitic, bacterial, viral things that happen, Lyme disease, right? And stress, sympathetic overload, right? We are so used to being in this like heightened state of being stressed out all the time, and no one thinks that's an issue. I can't tell you how many times I test people's stress, and they're like, I'm fine, I'm good. And I'm like, are you? Are you? And it's because for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, you've been in this state of stress for so long that it becomes normal. That's why. It's called sympathetic overdrive of your nervous system, right? You're just all the way up here for so long, and then you start to bring what we call the adrenal glands, which is your stress, where your stress comes from usually, right? That those glands I've seen, this is gonna sound crazy, so I do a score out of 10. I've seen 700 out of 10 in some people. 700. And you think, oh, but that's normal. And then you calm down and you're like, I don't know what this feels like. What's happening? Why am I calm? I've never felt this calm in my life, right? That's how you're supposed to be, right? Ever turn on the TV and ever not feel stressed? Because I can tell you, even things that you wouldn't think, like HGTV, stresses me out. It stresses me out. I'm like, you can't do this. No, they can't do that, right? It stresses you out. You don't even think about it. Don't even turn on the news. The news is like stress city, right? They want you heightened and in fear, and that's what happens when you watch. It's not just food, right? It's everything. It's your external environment, and if you're reacting to all that external environment, that's stress. Stress is one of the most, if not the most, deadly toxin on the planet, and the reason why is because it's invisible, right? You can find mold, you can find the chemical, you can find the metals and the things in the food, right? You can do all that, all the junk. You can't see stress. That's totally invisible, totally, okay? So we've been told that those symptoms, though, that you feel in your life aren't real, right? They're in your head, and you need a medication for that. What they don't tell you is that those medications lead to more symptoms. They lead to weight gain, anxiety, right? All the anti-anxiety medications lead to more anxiety over time. You don't think it, but they do. Because what happens is all those medications start putting holes in your gut lining, right? Advil, ibuprofen, Motrin, all those things, all the thyroid medications, they literally leach holes into your thyroid and they lower your thyroid production. They lower all of those productions in your hormones. They crush them. That's what they do. You're told, though, oh, you need that medication to help you lose weight or feel better or what have you. What you need to do is lift up the thyroid, lift up that organ, give it real food, real supplementation that lifts it up and supports it, right? It's actually not that hard. But we're being told you need that and you can't come off it for the rest of your life. Woof. That's horrible. And it also causes skin problems. Okay, I used to have the worst acne. I almost went on Accutane, but I didn't, right? Did all the things, never worked. Got rid of a lot of toxins. My skin's almost always perfect. Almost always, not always. So I'm gonna reiterate, because I feel like that's what we have to do in my world. We have to reiterate things to help them sink in. Is everybody good right now, by the way? No one's overwhelmed too much? No?
Yes.
You are? Too bad. So it takes longer than a month. Again, I think this is a big one for a lot of people. It could happen like this. For some people, it happens like they start seeing results in a month. They're like, I just lost 30 pounds, oh my gosh. Great. Some people, it takes a little longer. And I think, again, we've been given this like, well, we kind of do this compare and contrast thing where we're like, well, this person lost this much weight in a month, why am I not? You're different. It might take a little bit more time, right? It might be deeper, even deeper than we think it is, right? It could be, again, and a lot of it is mindset, right? We've been told for so many years, oh, it needs to happen by this time. If it doesn't, I'm giving up, right? You get frustrated because you're like, well, I've only lost 5 pounds. 5 pounds? You lost 5 pounds in a week or two? That's huge. But we're told that's not enough. You should be a size 0. Okay, not everyone's gonna be a size 0. I hate to tell you. I fluctuate between 31 and 32. Like, I'm cool with it, right? There's just certain things you're just gonna have to own about yourself. And it will make the healing process 1,000 times easier because there's no expectation. We're looking for health, not weight loss. If we stop looking at this whole program and this whole paradigm of weight loss in a different way, which is health, umbrella is health, right? It's not weight loss. The reason why so many people are resistant to weight is because that's all you focus on. You're like, I need to lose weight, I need to lose weight, I need to lose weight. And it's never gonna happen. And the reason why is A, toxins, yes, right? But B, it's because you're just being your focus is on the wrong thing. It should be on health, should be on slowly making improvements into your life. And it's it's slow, right? Not fast, slow. So when you slowly make changes, you slowly get healthier and healthier and healthier, right? And it takes time, right? It takes time to get that way, right? So in my world, detoxing is not I did it for a month. It's the long game, y'all. And you need to figure out what that means for you, right? If you can only handle once a week, twice a month, you need to be honest with yourself and with us as we work with you if you decide that, right? I can't read your mind, so if you say to me, okay, I'm all in, but then you go and you're like, this is a lot, I need to do this and this and this, we're here to work with you. We're not here to steal from you, right? I'm not a doctor, I'm not here to steal from you. I want you to get healthy, right? So I hope everyone understands that. We're all in a different path. And whatever that path is for you, we're here to help, okay? So in terms of balancing the body, because that's what we're here to do, we're here to balance it out. We're not here to fix you, so I don't fix. I'm not in the game of fixing you. I don't believe you need fixing. I believe you need to be balanced. Your body needs help. It's screaming for help, period, right? Yes? right? It's not screaming to be fixed. When people say, oh, I wanna fix you, I'm like, I'm out. I don't need you like that, right? I'll do that on my own, I'll do that work on my own. But when someone says the word balancing, I'm like, oh yeah, like, that sounds cool, right? It's easy, because it should be. It shouldn't be hard all the time. Yeah, you're gonna go through some ups and downs, but it shouldn't be hard. Balancing is easy. The loss, the weight loss, right? You feel the difference, right? It's not that. So just when you start to reframe these things in your mind of I need to balance, oh, so that sounds easy, that sounds fun, versus the gripping of it, right? So mind off of comparison, mind off of this will help your detox, this will help detoxing your body in a healthy way. Getting your mind off of other people and focusing on you, right? We're here, like I'm here because I want you to get better. I don't want you to want your friend to get better. I want you to, you're here for you, right? Almost always people come in and they're like, well, I want this person to get healthy. Okay, that's great. I love that for you. And I love that for them, that you care that much about them. But you need to be focused on you, because once you get healthy, people will see you getting healthy and go, well, what are you doing? You look great. What are you, right? As opposed to trying so hard to get other people, focus on yourself. And when you focus on you, then you start to go, this is easy, balance, right? That's easy. So, went through that, okay. Yeah, just making sure here. So I'm gonna go through a little bit of the symptomology of what happens when you start to detox, because again, we're told all these things are normal. Does anybody here have headaches all the time?
Yes.
Yes?
Used to.
Used to? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah? Does anybody have, anybody on Zoom too, if you guys wanna respond, is anybody exhausted? Yeah, used to be, yep. So you guys hearing this, right? Used to, right? Hungry a lot? Ever feel like not satisfied, right? Do you get fevers or breakouts, like skin breakouts a lot? Because I did. Do you feel irritable? Are these guesses? Right? Are we getting any guesses on there?
Sam says, so tired.
So tired, right? These are symptoms of a deeper problem, right? Some of them are having kids, and some of them are, you know, that's rough, and I get it, your moms, right? I get it, but a lot of it isn't, right? And when you start to calm down and you start to really figure out what's going on in the body, your symptoms that we've been told you're gonna live with forever suddenly disappear, right? So it's gonna be tough. It's a trigger, right? It's a trigger to getting healthy, right? So you feel that, like, you had headaches, you know, in like the first week, right? The first week you had like brutal headaches, right? And I said, just keep pushing forward. I know it sucks, but just keep pushing forward. And she did, and now do you ever get headaches?
If I do, it's from sugar.
At least you know. That's hilarious. So we're all in this, right? Do you see the hands raised when you're like, oh yeah, that's the world we're living in though, right? We're living in this world of, that's normal, headaches are normal, brain fog, normal, had that, it sucks, right? It sucks.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's keeping you from thriving in life. Thriving, not just living, thriving, right? Going back to work, feeling amazing, killing it, like literally, like I can't even with this one, right? Like, we have just been sort of, I have it in my note, where is it? Because we're in this $1 trillion cartel of nutcases, right? We're being told what to think and not how to think. When I ask you guys a question, you go, oh yeah, I don't like that. Now you're literally in control of your thought. Before though, they're just like, yeah, this is what to think, and then you just go along with it. But that doesn't make me feel good, so why should I go along with it? Because I told you to. But I don't feel good. I'm gaining weight. I can't sleep. But I told you to. Does anybody, is that clicking? right? We're being forced into being told, put this in your body, eat this, eat all the plants and greens that you have, and stop eating meat. Who? Anybody? Plants? All the plants?
I did.
Yep, I did too, right? It ain't no shame here, no judgment, right? It is what it is. And then you start putting the meat back in, and what happens? Oh, feels good, right? And I'm not trying to put that on anybody, I'm just saying, okay?
Feels good.
Even like the organic snacks, like back there, we
Yeah.
have that Annie's brand,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I'll go over those in a second, right? I wanna get through this detox and then we'll do a little show and tell. So you can expect setbacks with detoxing. You can expect to feel a little for a minute, right? When I first started detoxing 3 years ago, the first like month, I was like, I have to wake up. You're telling me I have to do what right now? I don't wanna do that, right? The first, and it's different for everyone. Everyone's different. So you might have a week of feeling like, I gotta go to work, well, if this head is killing me, right? Or you might feel great, and then the third week, you're like, whoa, now I know what he meant, right? That's how it works, okay? And people are like, I don't wanna be, not to sound graphic, but I don't wanna be on the toilet forever, I can't do that. But guess what? You have a lot of toxins in you, and it's not, you want it out, you don't want it in. And I get it, some of us we're all working, right? We have our full-time jobs, we're teachers, we don't have time to go to the bathroom, we got 85 kids coming in our door, we don't have time for it, right? Okay, I get it, and the thing is that we can work around that clock, right? This isn't like, oh, no, you have to do what I tell you. This is let's collaborate and work together so that doesn't happen for you, right? My sister is online right now, and she was like, I can't have this happen when I'm in school, right? I need to figure out a program and a way to not have this happen. I don't mean to call you out, but that's what is happening, right? So we give you and we help you cultivate a time frame that works for you, that your body says, yeah, that'll work, right? Does that make sense? Okay. So think of the body like an onion, okay? When you first start, it's gonna be like basic things that come out. Oh, you have a little mold exposure. Oh, this organ is really testing, right? And then as we get deeper and deeper into things, your body's gonna start to unfold, right? Sometimes you come in and you feel great, and then 3 days later you're like, what's going on, Matt? I don't know what's happening. I feel this crazy, like I feel like everything's changing in my head and blah. Okay, breathe. It's gonna be okay. It's an onion. We just entered into the next level, the next layer, if you will, right? So the more that you just understand that that's part of the healing process, that your body enters new stages, right? Like I just started to release, this is gonna sound crazy, but I just started doing emotional release. And when I started that practice, I can't tell you how many things came out of me, and I literally started to go, I am so exhausted, and I slept for days. When I wasn't working, I was in bed. Because that's how tired I was from all of that pent up emotion of all these things that came from like birth to now at 34. So just think about that, right? That's another toxin. Emotions are toxic. Some people are toxic. I hate to say it, but some people are just toxic. Okay? They are. Some people suck. Period. Okay? I mean, there's no other way to say it. So the positive news is that even though we can't run from this stuff, I know it sounds like, okay, this is a lot. Like, I don't know how am I gonna get rid of this, right? I get it. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to go, whoa, this is so much information. Or, whoa, okay, like if I can't run away from glyphosate, like what am I gonna do? We're here to help, right? We have tons of things to help you out of that. Really incredible binders that bind things in your body and pull them out and wrap a case around this, right? Around whatever toxin it is, and literally go around every other good thing in your body and pull it out, right? It's called carbon technology, right? So it puts all the good stuff back in that you need, and it pulls all the junk out, okay? So while I tell you all this horrible stuff and how you're being poisoned by $1 million trillion medical cartel that wants you dead, truth, there is a way out of it. It's not going to be easy, but I am here for you. We are here to help you, right? And we're here to connect and collaborate and make sure that you are cared for and that you feel cared for the second you enter and the second you leave, okay? You're here to create abundance, right? So all these things I tell you is that these are the main reasons why you or your children are depressed, anxious, have tons of GI issues, right? GI issues are like one of the most common things in our world right now, right? There's not a single person that I know that hasn't walked through this door and said, my stomach is awful. I can't digest food, I can't sleep, I mean, you name it, right? It leads to autoimmune issues, MS, POTS, like I've seen it all, right? It's not, and we're told that this is normal. Does that sound normal to you? Truly, does that sound normal? Because it's not normal, right? And we're here to help you. And I get educated, we get educated all day, every day. Because it's our duty to help you. Okay? Does that make sense? I'm gonna stop there. We're gonna take a beat because it's a lot. Drink some water, get a snack, and then we'll come back. And if you have any questions, I'll start the questions and then we'll go into some glyphosate issues, okay?
There's a bathroom there.
Bathroom if you need it.
Yeah, it's body talk.
Number 2 is welcome.
Yes, we'll turn the music on so you
That's your. I wrote this.
turn it up.
Yeah.
Eric.
Right.
Yeah, you know, you gotta know. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
double flush.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm turning the music on.
I think everyone needs to take a breath.
It's a lot,
It is fun.
I found myself not breathing.
because it's so.
Yeah.
It's just so much, right? It's a lot. Some of you guys were just saying,
Yeah.
because it's a lot,
Yeah.
So
Right?
we accepted.
that we've accepted that fate.
Everybody comes complacent and like, okay.
Robot.
It's life.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's not.
It's not like,
Right, no.
it's not living.
No.
Yeah. Where are you guys from?
Haverford.
Okay, that far.
Haverford.
Havertown, great.
John Willis's mom.
Ah, okay, now that makes sense now. Okay, got it. You guys all look alike, so that makes sense.
But we grew up down here, we were in Downey.
Yeah, so we're.
I think you told me that. Yes, yes, yes. I love it, right?
Still have my primary still out. Yeah.
Really? That's
I
cool.
lived here for 6 years.
Long time. That's a long time. And where are you guys from? Where are you guys out?
Pottstown.
Oh, that's not far. Okay. How was the drive? Not bad. Good. Great. You guys, does anybody want snacks? We have so much stuff. Oh, and we also have homemade bread. If you wanted to hand that out. It's so good. It's so good. It's Matt approved, so my cousin made it, so it is delicious.
We make it with this flour.
Yep, so this is a really good flour that we've used and that we've seen really good results with. I have yet to find any glyphosate exposure into it, so I'm still searching and I'm still making sure that that's good. But it is quite, it's a bit dense, but it's quite good. But no. Put a little butter on that.
Yeah.
King Arthur's flour.
Yeah. I guess she uses like the bread flour to make.
Yes, yes. What's the verdict? Thanks, Jen. Verdict is good.
Bread.
Yeah. Yeah, I want a piece of. Jenna said yes, girl.
Sorry, I wanted to.
So we can do this one of two ways. Should I go into glyphosate first,
Let's talk about.
or should I talk about some food first?
food.
Like I just gave you a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna have to take a beat. Talk about some food. Where should I begin? It is a lot, but guess what? It's a lot, but you need to know it.
One second.
Yeah.
Since I started working for the last 3 months, I've been hearing that children between the ages of 8 and 12 have to go to the emergency room because they are locked up, not moving.
Oh.
3 different, like all, neighbors and schools. So they eat all of the stuff that's on this table, and it is affecting the youth. That's what I just wanted to state.
For
that.
sure.
And
It affected me totally.
Totally, me too.
As soon as I cut it all out, it was like,
Wow.
yeah. So it's just really sad.
It
And
is.
this is what's like pushed on us.
Oh, yeah.
What's the cheapest, this is what's
Cheap.
the most.
But
Exactly.
but to
Right.
again, right, you have to reframe that, cheap,
Right.
it's cheap
Right.
for a reason, because they want you to eat this crap.
Right.
Right, and I know, listen, you make change, like I said, changes over time, because if you try and do it all at once, you're gonna be like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Right, but if you do it slowly, it just starts to become second nature, and it starts to become, oh, okay, that's easy, now I have that, right? And the first couple times, I mean, I was kind of like an all in, I was like, I don't care, I'm getting everything, right? That was how I did it. I don't suggest it because it's a lot. But when you make those changes slowly over time, the investment you see not only in your health, in your mood, you see it in your pocketbook too, because then the thing is that what people don't get about nutrient dense food, when it's good for you, you don't need as much of it. You don't. You eat an entire box of this in what, like 3 days, because it's all sugar and kids love this stuff. The box doesn't even taste
But
good,
it's delicious.
right? It's delicious, right? I'll tell you why it's delicious. Because there's sugar, the third ingredient is sugar on this, right? So if you look at this is Honey Nut Cheerios, you guys, just so you know, I know I'm getting, this is Honey Nut Cheerios, this has almost 60 grams of sugar in 1 cup. And I can guarantee you, ain't nobody eating 1 cup. Cause I know I did. I ate like half a box in like 1 pour, right? 1 cup, 50 grams of sugar. That's disgusting.
And you don't.
On top of sugar, glyphosate, which I'll get into. Cause that's shocking to me, right? So before I pin out all these disgusting foods, I wanna just go on this handout here, and if you guys need, there's a note thing on the back of these too, if you guys need to like write notes or anything down. So you think that you like, when you look on, does anybody read the nutrition panel like religiously, like every time you see it?
Now I do.
Now you do, but did you?
Never did.
You never did, right? Anybody look at nutrition
I
panels?
always look at the, but you just said 60, that probably says 13%, others need to be.
Yeah, so it's, the thing is that it says 30 grams, and then it says total sugar, and then it says including another 12 grams. So add all those up, that's what, 54 grams of sugar? With 3 grams of fiber. Please. Yeah, fiber from what? Chemicals, right? So I want you to look at this, right? Because the thing about sugar is that you just see the word sugar on there, and if all you see is sugar, you go, oh, okay, it has sugar in it. But guess what? There's all these other sugars in here too, right? Corn sweetener, corn syrup, or corn syrup solids, which is the same thing as high fructose corn syrup, right? Dehydrated cane juice, dextrin, dextrose, evaporated cane sugar. We all look at that and we're like, oh, it's evaporated. Yeah, no, it's not evaporated, I can tell you that. Fructose, fruit juice concentrate, glucose, you guys get the idea, right? These are all other forms of sugar. So on here, see what I find. Sugar, brown sugar syrup, right? Natural almond flavor, yum. So, oh, and cornstarch, right? We love corn, GMO. So, but that's what's in this, right? And I will tell you almost always, and it's not almost always, all the time, When you see sugar as a second ingredient, first ingredient, third ingredient, what does that mean to you?
That's what it's mostly made of.
That's what's mostly in this box is sugar. It's not, and also oats, not only are oats sugar, right? Because carbs turn into sugar, right? It's also glyphosate, because oats have glyphosate in them. Right? I know that's a hard one to hit, but it's true, right?
So the only good thing about that is the cardboard box.
You get more from the cardboard box than you would from the actual thing inside.
Exactly. So then you have the artificial sweeteners, right? Aspartame. We've all heard that one. Diet Coke. Who doesn't love Diet Coke? It's horrible for you.
Even in, sorry, Lauren, didn't you have that gum? Your gum.
Oh. Aspartame free,
Yeah.
right? Pure gum.
Yeah.
Aspartame free.
I mean, even in your gum, your
It's
toothpaste,
in-
everything.
Everything. You guys, I will tell you through and through. Read your labels. Read, and not just the nutrition label. Everything that's in it.
And not just your food too.
Yeah. Everything, your face care products, your toothpaste, your deodorant, all of it, right? Read your labels. You're not, the thing is that they're telling you the truth, but they think we're stupid. I mean, it's the truth, they think you're dumb, because you're not gonna look at that. Most people don't look at that. They just go, oh, okay, it's only 12 grams, whatever. Do you know how many teaspoons of sugar we're used to eating on a daily basis now? Tablespoons, excuse me, tablespoons. 25 a day. A day. It's in everything. Again, not to scare you, it's to be real. That's why we're sick. Because all of these chemicals, poisons in this, okay? So aspartame, stop drinking soda. You cut that out, you'll lose 20 pounds just by cutting that out, I guarantee it, right? Some of you aren't gonna like me on this next one, but avoid GMO products, corn, soy, wheat, rice, tomatoes, if they're from the store. If you grow them, great, do you, right? But all those other things, corn is one of the most highly GMO products, full of glyphosate products you will ever find on the market, on top of that soy, right? And soy again is in everything. Everything, right? How many of you have looked at like a marinade or a dressing or anything like that? And what's the first thing on there? It's usually soy
Soy less.
or corn oil or canola oil, right? You don't think about this stuff, but they're telling you that they're killing you. Like they're telling you, they have to. They have to tell you, right? So a good tip is, to me, even if you're this is like for beginners, right? Shop the perimeter of your grocery store. Avoid, if you can, foods in a box or in a can, if you can, because they're super processed. Still, even the healthiest stuff, it's still processed, right? So the goal is to slowly wean you off of I mean, I'm just now like, I don't need the simple milk cookie anymore. I'm good. But I used to be like, I need the simple milk cookie, a whole box right now, right? And I used to be that. I get it, right? Slowly, right? If your ingredient list is more than like 10 things and you can't name it, and you can't see it, and you don't know what it is, you probably shouldn't buy it. And that will save you money, right? We all talk about wanting to save money. Stop buying the cookies. Buy a steak or buy a vegetable at the store, right? That's how you save money. Okay, I know it's cheap, but it's not cheap for you, right? You don't deserve cheap. You deserve abundance. You deserve getting the best steak on the market. That's what you really deserve, but they're telling you you don't. Okay, if grandma wouldn't recognize it, then don't eat it. Okay, stevia is probably the best sweetener that I know and that most practitioners know, right? Stevia leaves, you can get liquids. If you like coffee sweet, or like anything like that, like your teas or anything, use stevia. You don't need a lot of it, it's super sweet already, so just do a couple drops. You can get it like French vanilla now. And when I was in my 20s just learning about stuff, it was just stevia. There was no sweetening anything else to it, right? So does that make sense? Any questions on that food list? Because I know it can sometimes be a little overwhelming, but anybody?
I think it's important to mention, like, as you are detoxing, it's okay to have snacks, like,
Yes.
that's okay.
Yes.
It just has to be good ingredients.
Yep.
Made well.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
And to that point too, I think a lot of people when they start detoxing, and this is my biggest, like, I get it, right? It's compassion, this is where I have compassion. I might not look like I have compassion, but trust me, I do. When you're going through this process, people try to be perfect with it. If I screw up, I'm never gonna. You're being so hard on yourself, y'all. You need to just ease up. Ease up the brake.
Yeah.
Realize that you just started, or realize that it's a process of unfolding, a process of opening up, right? You have been told forever that if you're not perfect, then you might as well stop. Right? I was told to be perfect. I was told that if I don't do everything right, I'm just gonna have to start again on Monday. That was how I was told and taught, right?
Diet starts Monday.
Diet starts Monday. Oh, I'm gonna start my New Year's resolution on January 1st. Woo! Right? It lasted about what, a week and a half, right? It's not sustainable, right? Because you don't have guidance to help you, you don't have the compassion of someone to go, it's okay. You made a mistake. Who doesn't make mistakes? I do, I still do. What did I have yesterday that I had ice cream yesterday. It was good. It was real good. It was homemade, but I paid the price this morning, right? But I'm human. We're all human beings. So the morning you stop expecting yourself to be perfect and you live, most of the time you're really good. Most of the time you're eating really, really well. And then you have those moments where you're like, yeah, I had a drink, whatever, you know? I mean, it's not whatever, it's not good for you, but my point is, no one's perfect, and the harder that you are, and this is what a lot of these programs don't teach you, because it's a computer that's like tracking everything, right? And then you feel what? You feel guilty when you're not perfect, correct? I know I used to.
To then beat yourself up, running around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you're.
And then you come into me and you're like, oh, I screwed up. I'm like, okay, it's all good. Guess what? We have so many things to help you out of that screw up. It's not that big of a deal, right?
What about honey, Matt?
Honey is probably the best
Maple syrup.
sweeper, and maple, yeah, but you don't want to use a lot of it, right? It's so strong, but you don't need to use a lot of it.
Generally, when you're sweetening like baked goods or like yogurt, like things like that, you would prefer a honey or maple syrup
Or
as
stevia.
like a natural sweetener.
Yeah. Cool.
But like real maple syrup, not like pancake syrup.
Yes, yes, real actual syrup, yes. So does that make sense on the sweetener, on the food? What time am I at right now?
8:30.
Oh, sugar butt. Dang.
Already.
Alright, I need to go into glyphosate because
Time
this
flies.
is. Huh?
Time flies. We're
Yeah.
having fun.
Right? So glyphosate, we all excited? Anybody know what glyphosate is before I start? No. Okay. So glyphosate is a patented weed killer called Roundup. Okay. It was patented, and it wasn't patented, it was made and created in 1974 by Monsanto, who also owned Bayer, who is your creator of Motrin, Advil, ibuprofen, all those things. Tylenol. Yep. Is that it? Weed killer that is in your food is the person who also owns Bayer, Motrin, all those things. Okay. It's considered now, it was patented in 2010 as an antibiotic. Oh yeah. Okay. Antibiotic is all that is all up in there. Okay. What does antibiotic do? Anybody? It rips a hole in your gut, causes all the diseases, right? All the chronic illnesses, all the IBSs, all those weight issues. That's the leading cause. Autism. That's what glyphosate is, right? It's in there, it's in that gut, it's in every crevice of your body. Okay. So it not only kills beneficial gut bacteria, leading to nutrient deficiency, chronic intestinal diseases, inflammatory diseases, such as cancer, autism, POTS, arthritis, osteoporosis, MS, all autoimmune diseases, all of them, massive weight gain, brain fog, heart attacks and heart issues, thyroid diseases, diabetes, and neurological diseases. Glyphosate was classified as probably carcinogenic to humans by the International Agency for Cancer in 2015. Okay. And at that time too, they did a rodent test where they tested rodents, gave rodents glyphosate. It affected it caused neuronal death. Neuronal death. Let that sink in, right? The death of neurons, right? Autism. It caused anxiety and other mental problems. Okay. It harms butterflies, bees, and other pollinators. It's been detected in 80% of urine in U.S. adults and children, in children by the CDC in 2022. 80%. That's a lot. So I said it already, but does anybody know what ibuprofen does to the gut? Anybody? Holes in your gut, right? Causes weight gain. Massive weight gain. Massive.
They always tell you to take it with food.
Take it with food,
So it has
right?
something else to eat
Take
inside your gut.
When you have a headache, take an Advil. That'll let it go. It might with 75 other side effects, right? So where can it be found? In your air, in your rain, soil, seawater, ocean water, vaccines. Its highly residues are found in GMO foods with little to no nutritional value. Found in corn, wheat, soy, processed oils, packaged foods, plants, fruits, alcohol, sugar, and water. Okay? How could that affect me and my family? Well, glad you asked. Bioaccumulation in your organs and tissues. So all that's getting clogged up in the heart, clogged up in the adrenal gland, clogged up in the pancreas, clogged up in all these organs that are supposed to what? Give you life, produce all those things, give you energy, right? If something is blocked up, no wonder you feel like junk, right? The onset of chronic serious illnesses in younger populations that affects that, okay? An increase in multiple chronic diseases in 25% or more of our population, and it's growing. Okay? It's toxic to your liver and your kidneys. What do we know our liver to be? So if you have all that in you, on top of other toxins, your liver's not doing its job, and now you feel like death. Because your liver can't do its job, it can't filter through anything. Okay? So it's also an endocrine disruptor. Endocrine is your hormones, your adrenals, your thyroid, all of it, right? That HPA axis, right? Causes major birth defects. So why is it that when you look up glyphosate, you probably don't really find anything? Because they don't really want you to know. They're trying to hide it from you so you don't do anything about it. Because it's a slow poison, right? Slowly poisoning you without you even knowing about it. Did anybody know about glyphosate before you even came to me? No? Some of you? Some of you knew? Okay. So there's an amazing book called Toxic Legacy. I encourage you to read it. Toxic Legacy. The author of that is Stephanie Seneff, Seneff. It's a read, right? It's a lot of information, but it's amazing. It's an amazing book. Okay. It's a lot of education, but it's really good.
The last name again?
Seneff, Seneff. So not only is it affecting your gut, it's affecting your joints, right? Glyphosate gets in those joints, and all of a sudden you're getting, why can't rotate my arm, I can't get my arthritis, right? People get hip replacements because they think, my hip, it's broken. Doctor said it's broken, I might as well get a hip surgery. That's not the cause of your hip replacement. The cause of your hip replacement is that there's glyphosate in that bone. It's leaching off all those nutritional things, the B vitamins, the A vitamin, the D vitamin. It's pulling all that off your bone because it needs to survive somehow, right? So everyone that's pushing all this collagen this, collagen that, it won't work until you get the stuff off the bone. So your spending a lot of money on these highly expensive collagens that don't even do anything yet. Does that make sense? Like that hits, yes? Because I spent a lot of money on collagen in the past. And now I'm like, why do I even do that? Now I don't even need it because I'm like, what a crap.
Even
This is
regular
good.
vitamins, if you're not
Yeah.
detoxing your body, it's not gonna have.
Yeah,
a
it's not gonna have an
beneficial-
effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so there's that. So in 2015, the WHO classified glyphosate as probably carcinogenic, right? So do you ever notice that when you eat small amounts of food or any food, like any of these things maybe, or any of these things maybe, or anything at all, that you get unmotivated, maybe you go out to eat, right? You go out to eat and the next day you're like, oh, I don't feel so great. Anybody?
Oh,
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
So I can tell you almost always they're using terrible oil, probably canola oil, probably soybean oil, and they're probably full of glyphosate, right? Tons of sugar. So again, I know it's hard because you're like, but I like to eat out. Sure, I get it. But there are things that you can do when you go out to eat. Hey, can you only cook my stuff on a grill? Or hey, can you use butter when instead of using the oil, the canola oil, right? Can you use butter instead? Or even if it's olive oil, it's not the greatest cooking oil to use. I wouldn't suggest it. But if you're in a pinch, probably the best one to use, okay? But those things you don't even realize cause so much toxicity, okay? But when you eat these things, all these toxins, all the glyphosate, all the molds, all the like cheese, it's mold. Ever feel that when you eat cheese and you're like, ugh? Anybody? Where you get super constipated? Ooh. Brutal. I do. No shame in my game, I get it. So all these foods are just what my point is, all these foods have massive amounts of glyphosate, massive, or toxins, right? So if you're not actively pulling stuff out all the time, you're probably not getting to the problem. All right. And I have, if you guys want it, I actually have the research of all these articles and I can email them to you just so that you can see them. Because I think it's important to know. I'm reading them for you, but if you would like it, let us know. We can absolutely send you some stuff over, okay? Red meat. We were told that red meat is really, really bad for you, right? It's the leading cause of cancer. I hate to tell you, but it's not the leading cause of cancer. The leading cause of cancer is sugar. The leading cause of cancer is all the bad oil that you put on your food that you probably aren't even aware of. Or going out to eat and they're saying, oh yeah, we use olive oil blended with canola oil, right? That's what they do. That's how they get away with it. They cut the oil with really bad oil. All right. So does that make sense on glyphosate? Does anybody have a question on glyphosate? I know I kind of like sped through that a little bit. Any questions at all? Y'all are processing, y'all are like.
So those healthy salads we were eating, we were dumping the dressing on it that totally negated it.
That was part of the, yep. Yep, I will always tell you, make your own oil, make your own dressing, make your own, you'll feel 10 times better just by that. Yep. Does anybody have questions at all on glyphosate? No? Alright, I'm gonna read through a couple of these things, and then I'm gonna have one person come up and we're gonna do a little
Should
test.
we pass them around?
Yeah, so Sour Patch Kids, how many of your kids ate these?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Or grandkids, or nieces, or nephews, right? There is yellow 5, red 40, yellow 6, and blue 1, right? These
Blue
things
one. Blue one.
sounds nice and friendly, right? All the colors, right?
All the colors.
These cause anxiety, depression, tons of mental issues. Get them out of your house. Don't let your kids eat them. There are plenty of alternatives that you can get in any grocery store. Sour Patch Kids,
Sour, sweet, sour.
right? Sour Patch Kids. So you need to read your ingredients. If you're putting color and food dye in your stuff, and if you're buying this kind of stuff, you are willingly killing yourself. Sorry, I mean, I'm real. I have to be, right? That's what's happening. Our favorite, Ritz crackers. Yay! So it doesn't say it only has 1 gram of sugar, right? But then it has soybean oil, canola oil, palm oil, sugar, more leavening oil, high fructose corn syrup, soy, lecithin, and then natural flavors. I'm not gonna go into what natural flavors are because you might be a little overwhelmed if I told you what those could be possibly.
It really means familiar flavor.
Yeah, for real, okay? So I'm gonna pass that around so you can kind of see that, what that looks like. I already went through Cheerios.
Yeah, oh, do you want to look at the other thing?
Yes, yeah,
We have a question.
Yeah.
So like, I think they're trying to advertise organic to make it seem, so when it says organic wheat flour, is it not being sprayed by the same? But it's still.
It still
What
is.
is organic meat?
What is organic?
Organic just means less chemicals.
That?
That's it.
Not-
Doesn't mean no, means less. That's it.
For
So-
fruit, for fruits.
I like that it's bolded and it says best ingredients, and it goes organic wheat
Left.
flour, then organic. cane
That's all
sugar.
organic means.
Yeah, right, organic.
Which is why you still need to detox.
Sunflower oil.
It's like saying you can swim in the ocean because there's only a certain percentage of E. coli.
Yeah, yeah.
That's such a great way to look for.
Or it's gonna be safe.
It's like someone
That's a great way
saying,
to put
I
it.
just made a batch of brownies and I only put a little bit of sugar in that brownie. So I'm gonna eat that brownie. That's the best one, right? So then when you guys look at like a CFA brand, right? Guys, when you look at this kind of brand, CFA, these have 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients. Cassava flour, which some people are sensitive to, so we have to work on that and get you so that you're not sensitive to it, that could take time. Avocado oil, which is great oil, okay? Coconut flour, which is great for you, it's a low glycemic flour, right? It's not gonna raise your blood sugar. Chia seeds, which again, some people, these could and could not, right? So the reason why we test and don't guess, which I'll probably bring someone up really fast and kind of go through this, but the reason why we test and don't guess, because then I can actually tell you, these work for you. And then we're not guessing and buying a $5 to $6 bag of chips that don't even work for you, they're not helping you, right? They have other flavors, they have other things, right?
Here, do you wanna look at it?
Yeah, so like, again. So organic cane sugar, oh, it must be good because it's organic, it's still sugar, right? And it's still, I mean, this still has 14 grams of sugar in it, and that's in. Jesus, 31 cookies, that's aggressive. So you still have sunflower oil. Sunflower oil is one of the most toxic oils. There's like 4 really bad ones: canola, sunflower, soybean. So, I said sunflower. Safflower, some palm oil. Palm oil, I'm a little like this right now. Because we're still researching on it, right? I would probably not ingest palm oil. I would probably use it in like a beauty product. Like that's okay. Because it has that like smooth effect to it. I don't know that, I'm not quite sure on ingesting it yet though, alright? And more cane sugar. And then you go down and you see all these like, chocolate chips, and that's great, they're organic. But there's still there's all these other, that's like top 5 ingredients for all those things I just named, right? So again, you think these things, and on top of that, glyphosate. That's what I'm talking about, like an organic thing that has, I don't even know, that's like what? 15, 16 ingredients probably, and they're considered organic, but it's all sugar. So you tell me, right? Probably not. Probably not. So, real quick, I wanna have anybody wanna come up and volunteer, we're gonna do a little test. And I just wanna see what where your body's at, okay?
Don't be afraid, he's gentle.
Very gentle. Very- If you could, can you just take this off for me, thank you. So I didn't pay her to be here, right, she's here, not here against her will. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do some muscle testing on you, okay? So, it's all reflexes, so what I'm gonna tell you is that most people, when they start, they wanna like strength me out, right? It's very easy, right? So I'm gonna have you put your arm out here. So I'm really gonna add gentle pressure, do you feel that? And you're just gonna go up as I push down, right? So do you feel how your arm locks like that?
Yeah.
So that means your testicles. Now I'm gonna go here, right? Good. Go here, arm goes down. Right? So that just means that you're testable. Feel that?
Yeah.
Easy to stay strong, right? So stay strong, good, easy. See that? Okay, so now I'm gonna go through a basic scan and just see what's going on in the body, what areas are stressed and need a little help, and what areas are like, right now, I'm pretty good, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna add slight pressure, just make sure you're matching my pressure, good. Maxillary sinus, do you have sinus issues? No? Okay. Well, her body might be saying, I need a little help here, right? So there, okay. Make sure you match that pressure for me. Thyroid, okay. Make sure you're matching my pressure. Spleen, stomach. Liver. Yes. Small intestine. Ascending. Transverse. Okay. So she's having some colon issues. Right? Does that sound about right?
Maybe.
Do you have anything digestive happening? No? Okay. Okay, that's okay. You can rest for a second. I'm gonna get a supplement that is hopefully going to support her thyroid. Okay, so that's the first place that her body said we need a little help here, right? So I'm gonna get one thing.
You're doing great.
So I'm gonna pull this up against your thyroid. Okay. So first we're gonna go make sure that was right? So we have boom, her pineal is good, and I go here, thyroid, weak, right? Pineal, weak, okay? We go here. Strong. So her body said, I like that, I need this, right? And then, right? And then you put something like, right? You feel the difference? You guys see that, right? You gotta put it here, right? It's strong, okay? So you might, and so the thing that's amazing about muscle, you can have a seat. The thing that's amazing about muscle testing is that it's not just like oh, this is wrong with me, or like, oh, something's wrong. It could be your body saying, preventative. I need this now to build me up so that it doesn't happen in the future, right? It's not just like, oh, this is the problem, right? Because you were also testing a little bit in colon too, right? So as we go through, right, if you became a client, as we go through, we give you a full panel of symptomology, right? It's a 3-page thing, I think, 3 pages of symptoms that you fill out that's specific to you, and then we will test every part of your body to each symptom that you feel. Every single one, right? We start with your top 5, and then we move forward, right? Because the body is an onion, right? If we try to do everything at once, it would be like too much, right? And you'd be taking 25 things. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right. Does that make sense? How does that feel? Weird? A little weird? It's okay. That's why you're here, right? Does anybody else want to come up and try it, or are we good?
I just have a question.
Yeah.
So for like an older person, like me, who might be on prescription medication.
Yes.
For whatever, where would the supplements, like, is there any concern about?
So the only thing that we say is to take them away from your medication. So if you're on supplementation, we usually say take the medication in the morning and then supplement throughout your day. I will tell you, my mother had high blood pressure and no longer takes medication. Just to give you some hope. She was taking it for, gosh, I think, huh? Yeah, I think at least 5 to 6 years probably. No longer needs it. So if it gives you hope, I'm not telling you to do that. I can't tell you to do that. What I am telling you is that as your body gets lifted and as it gets healthier, you might say, oh, I don't really feel like I need that as much. You might find yourself weaning off of it, right? Does anybody else want to try? I don't bite.
Do it.
One of you two, come on. What's your name? Molly, I'm a pleasure. Come on over. So.
And I'm medication for it, okay? I'm not on
So you're gonna push up slightly, and I'm gonna push down. You feel that resistance? Okay, and you feel how that locks? Yeah, so now I'm gonna go here, okay? And this is just telling me if I have a test, if you're a testable person, right? So you feel that goes down, okay? So now I'm gonna do a quick scan. Do you have any issues that you're feeling in your body right now, or do you feel pretty good? Talk to me. You don't know? Okay, we'll see what's happening. So make sure you're always resisting up, okay? Just slight resistance, good. Bladder's testing. So, put your arm down. You're not. Do you find yourself ever? No, it's okay. I'm not scary. I'm gonna ask questions. Do you ever find yourself tired?
Every time.
This makes sense now. Do you ever find yourself moody?
Yes,
Okay. Do you ever find yourself irritable?
yes.
Oh, so a major part that just tested as part of our endocrine system. Ladies, what's that major part?
Hormones.
Down under, right? The vagina. Okay. So what happens when that doesn't work properly? Exhaustion, mood, irritability, maybe you're hungry for a lot of sweets.
Yeah.
Right? So we would need to get, I'm gonna get one thing for you real fast.
Great job, Molly.
I just went through the same thing like a week ago, you just.
I'm doing it.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm literally just gonna add a little support to the body and see what happens. Right, so her body is craving a hormone helper, right? Estrogen, right? It doesn't add hormones, it balances the hormones, right? Helps with your mood, right? So when I add this, I take it out, right? And I just go, I'm not touching. I don't need that, right? Here, it's weak, right? It's weak, but then I go to your small intestine, strong, weak, strong, weak, right? And then I add a little bit of support, really strong, like resist me, really strong. Pretty cool, pretty cool, right? Have a seat, thank you. So does that, I know it's a little weird, but guess what? It works. We have wins, we have wins, we have wins, we have wins, yes? How are you guys feeling? Out of curiosity, good? Really good. Yeah, anyone wanna give a little, how much time we have?
It's 5 of.
Okay, does anybody wanna give a testimony before we,
I was just sharing with them that I had been diagnosed and was being treated for chronic lung disease. I no longer am on any medication, nor do I carry that diagnosis any longer, and that is with the support of my primary healthcare physician.
wow, thank you for sharing,
Yeah,
thank you.
I remember getting on your elliptical machine, you remember?
Oh, yeah.
I felt wind, I was like, whoa, like, this isn't good. And yeah.
And now you're going up with 5-gallon jugs up steps
Yeah.
at 68, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
And I don't get short of breath at all.
So it's possible. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you, is that it's just possible, right? So I don't want to take up any more of your time. I really appreciate you all being here. I hope it was educational. I hope you understand the benefit of natural health and building up your body. I hope to work with more of you in the future. Or if you find anybody else, amazing, right? I want you to be healthy. If you find somebody that you resonate with, that's amazing, right? But find someone, because you deserve to be healthy. You deserve to get there, okay? So thank you so much for being here. Thank you all on Zoom for being here.
Yeah.